We'll wait just a few seconds for everyone to join the room, and then we'll get started. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be speaking with you all today, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us in discussing how you can boost your career with the CFA program. First, I want to give a warm welcome to all the professors joining us today. It's really great to see you all here. And a hello to all the students joining us today. Hopefully you're taking a much needed break from your studies. So first, let's quickly go over some guidance for today's presentation. Our presentation will run for about 30 to 35 minutes, which should leave us plenty of time for Q&A. Please feel free to submit your questions to Wanda through the chat feature, as she will be moderating the Q&A portion for us at the end of the presentation. Also note that we are recording this presentation, and you'll receive a link to it at the conclusion of the webinar. This link will be accessible for 30 days, so let's get started. Today, we'll provide a high-level overview of CFA Institute and CFA Society Brazil. We'll also introduce you to the CFA program with a particular focus on the flexibility that has come with recent changes to the program and how this may weigh into your future plans. So first, let me start with a few introductions. My name is Merridith Kauten. I'm the Manager of University Relations for the Americas region at CFA Institute. I'm joined by my colleague, Wanda McClenahan, who is the Director of University Relations for the Americas at CFA Institute. And I'm very pleased to introduce you to Gustavo Moreira, CFA, CAIA, Financial Officer, Finance Professor and Board Member, and Vice President of CFA Society Brazil. You will hear from Gustavo shortly about the wonderful impact and the opportunities that the society brings to your local market. So now we'll move on to a brief overview of CFA Institute. CFA Institute is the premier global association for investment management professionals. All the work we do supports our mission statement to lead the investment profession globally by promoting the highest standards of ethics, education, and professional excellence for the ultimate benefit of society. Our large global network includes more than 160,000 CFA charter holders worldwide in 164 markets and more than 150 local societies like CFA Society Brazil. We have more than 650 universities participating in the University Affiliation Program, which I'll go over shortly, and about 1,100 in the Research Challenge globally. More than 25,000 firms across the globe employ CFA charter holders. I mentioned the University Affiliation Program and the Research Challenge because CFA Institute has a long history of working with universities around the world to support their efforts to develop future professionals. So the University Affiliation Program recognizes universities that incorporate a significant percentage of the CFA program candidate body of knowledge topics, including our ethics, into a specific degree program. In Brazil, we have 7 affiliated universities as shown here. So these universities have demonstrated that the curriculum is closely tied to practice. If there's interest in having your university affiliated, please connect with the local society. University students are also invited to participate in the CFA Institute Research Challenge, which is an annual global equity research competition that provides university students with hands-on mentoring and intensive training in financial analysis and professional ethics. Each student team is tested on their analytical, valuation, and report writing and presentation skills. They gain real-world experience as they assume the role of research analyst. Teams from Brazil have gone on to win the Americas region. So with that backdrop in mind, I'll turn it over to Gustavo, who will talk about the local impact of the society and the opportunities available.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time. Before we start, I'd just like to tell that we're gonna draw some giveaways, alguns brindes, and those that are connected until the end of the Q&A session will be entitled, will be able to receive those giveaways that we're gonna provide. Guys, so it's a pleasure to be here. I'm the Vice President of the CFA Society, and I'm responsible for credentialing, which is responsible for dealing with candidates, universities, students. So it's really a pleasure to be here and to show how our society is indeed creating an impact in society and in students' lives. Here in Brazil, the number of candidates are growing. Number of candidates are growing a lot. If you look on the left hand side chart, you can see that we had a solid candidate growth in Brazil in the past 4 years. Last year was a different year because of the COVID, so we don't have exams here. But for this year, 2021, we are showing an increase in the number of candidates compared to 2019. So we've been getting a lot of attention from CFA Institute because of that. And my second message from this slide is the candidate age. If you look, around 65% of the candidates in Brazil have less than 30 years. So, and that's very important for you guys, because if you think, the CFA charter is not something that you're gonna apply. It's not something that you're gonna get when you are 35, 40, 45 years old. Ideally, you should engage in the exams, engage in the charter path right after you leave college, because all your knowledge from that you learned in college will be fresh, and not so it is going to be easier for you to succeed in the 3 levels of the exam. Not only that, but if you get the charter early, let's say 25, 27 years, you're going to be able to get the dividends for longer, right? You're going to be a charter holder with 25 years old, with 27 years. So the dividends you're going to be able to capture for maybe 10 years, 15 years, which is much better than becoming a charter holder when you're 40. Okay, so yeah, guys, I do recommend you to undertake the exam right now. Okay. And here at the Brazil Society, we are developing a lasting change to people's lives, because we're promoting a number of member events. We are promoting continuing education for local members. We have a jobs board, which are job offers. I'm gonna show. Our events are very important for members and candidates members, and if you pass level 1, you can become a member, you can become an affiliate member. So once you pass level 1, you can become a member. So I can tell members and candidates can enjoy participating of this network of CFA charter holder network. And if you haven't applied for level 1 yet, you still have opportunities. We're going to discuss about the CFA Institute Research Challenge, the scholarships that we as CFA Society and CFA Institute award, and also some benefits of the affiliated membership. Here I have some pictures of some high-profile events that we have run in the society in the past few years. We were responsible to organize and to conduct the CVM's anniversary in 2019. It was a big event, a national event that we're proud to organize, which is the picture on the top left side. Right below, we have a picture from our annual conference, which we had the pleasure to receive Luiz Stuhlberger from Fundo Verde, and Tony Volpon, which we used to be a director of the Brazilian Central Bank. We had Aswad Damodaran, Professor Damodaran, twice in our Brazil conference. Once he came, let's say, in person to the conference in São Paulo, and the second time was last year. He presented virtually and was a huge success. Okay. Another member event that was very well received, that was very well liked by our members, is the event that we had with Ilan Goldfein. While he was the Brazilian Central Bank governor, was very valuable. We had hundreds of members watching the event. And now in the next slide, an event that we have done with Dynamo, which they talked about fundamentals. Another annual event with Gustavo Franco, Professor Gustavo Franco, a former central bank governor. An event with JGP, with Jakurski. And finally, an event with Svein, which was the person in charge for saving Iceland, when Iceland had all the issues back in 2008 and 2009. Okay. And these are the events that we have run in the past 7 months in between the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. Then we stopped to hold the in-person events. Then we switched to webinars. And you can see that like in a span of 15, 16 months, we had events every pretty much 2 weeks. So it's very valuable for you guys, because something that I tell is that when you're in college, like you've spent all your life studying throughout the past 15, 20 years, you had a professor that you met every day, every working day at least. And after you leave college, you kind of get lost because you don't have someone telling you the best practices. It's easy for you to stop learning. And the CFA Society Brazil, the CFA Institute, helps you to continue this learning experience by promoting and by offering these events that are very valuable. And we offer the events in São Paulo, in Rio, and in other locations here in Brazil. Okay. And one part of our website that is that's very valuable is the part that one of the most visited pages in our website is the jobs board, where companies offer jobs for CFA charter holders. And back in 2019, which was our last regular year, we had more than 100 job offers. So it's pretty attractive. And if you become a CFA charter holder, or if you become an affiliate member, which you can become after passing level 1, you have access to all these member events. You have access to CFA Institute's events. You have access to CFA Institute's magazines, articles, webcasts, and you have access to all events that we run here in Brazil for free. And you have access to all jobs that are posted in our jobs board. So that's something that is really interesting for candidates and CFA charter holders. And I like this. This was a job offer back in 2017, and I liked because this job offer highlighted you don't need to be a CFA charter holder. Okay, something that's special, and I'm highlighting there in red. If you have an experience in the financial markets, or if you have passed CFA level 1, that's a differential. So you don't need to pass all 3 levels to become well known, to increase your competitive edge, your competitive advantage against the average market participant. Of course, you want to pass in all 3 levels and become a CFA charter holder. But you can benefit from passing level 1, you can benefit from passing level 2, because the market already sees that you are a valuable resource after you pass either level 1, 2, or 3. And here it's a post from Roberto Sallucci, the CEO of BTG Pactual. It is a public post on LinkedIn. And this event, they run, as far as I know, every year, which they gather all the candidates that were approved at the CFA exam, and they invite them for a happy hour. And here, the most important thing is the symbol. The CEO of the largest investment bank in Latin America inviting and publicizing that he's inviting their employees that succeeded in the CFA exam. So yeah, employers praise the CFA certification. That happens not only at BTG, but in other investment banks. And here are some regulatory exemptions. Across the globe, you can see on the right, the countries highlighted in blue are the countries that recognize the CFA charter in some way that allows you to have a shortcut in terms of having, by being, let's say, by passing CFA level 3, by being a CFA charter holder, you might be exempt from doing some exams. And here in Brazil, for instance, if you're a CFA charter holder, you only need to pass the Conteúdo Brasileiro module to obtain the CJ. Talking about the CNPI, if you are approved at level 1 at CFA, you only need to pass the CB, Conteúdo Brasileiro, to obtain the CNPI certification. Okay. If you were approved at level 3, You can become administrador de carteira de valores mobiliários, and you can become the consultor de valores mobiliários, both awarded by the CVM. Okay, and if you are a CFA charter holder, you can be a gestor de fundos de pensão according to the Previc. Guys, this list, of course, is always changing. Some shortcuts are entering, some shortcuts are leaving, but this is, to the best of my knowledge, how it is right now. So, I like this specific slide because it shows that CFA not only opens doors with employers, not only opens doors by providing networking events, but it saves you money and time to obtain the necessary regulatory certifications. Okay, go ahead. And now that we're moving to the end, I would like to talk about the CFA Institute Research Challenge, which is designed to students. It's a competition that's run annually by CFA Institute and CFA Society Brazil, and it's very interesting for you guys, students, because it provides students a hands-on mentoring and intensive training on financial analysis, valuation, report writing, and presentation skills. Okay, the idea is that you're gonna get some real-world experience in becoming a equities research analyst. Okay, it's gonna help you improve learning. It's gonna prepare you for your future professional responsibilities. Definitely, it's a competitive differential from the symbolic point of view and also from the instrumental point of view. And if you join the CFA Research Challenge, our local level, which is run every August here in Brazil, you're going to participate of training sessions. Your team is going to receive a mentor, which is a financial analyst that's going to help you bridge the knowledge from the academic knowledge to the practitioner knowledge. So you're going to receive a free mentor. You're going to receive a free newswire terminal. You're able to interact with the investment relations director, the CFO, the CEO of the company. You're going to receive feedback on the report that you're going to write. If you are a finalist, if you go to the local final, you're going to be able to present your ideas, your analysis to a panel of well-regarded portfolio managers and analysts. Eventually, you might be able to travel for free if we run the CFA Institute Research Challenge in person, which used to be in New York. You're going to have access to experienced professionals. You're going to have opportunity to win a bunch of prizes. And more special, here in Brazil, we were able to develop a good business model to the extent that last year, the two teams that won the Brazil final, they were in the final of the Americas final. So that's like among 5 teams in the Americas final, we had 2 teams last year. And one of the teams went to the global final, which I'm very proud of that. And this year, one of the teams that won the Brazil final went to the Americas final again. So guys, if you do a good work, history tells that you are able to go very, very far in this competition, okay? And you gain a lot. Imagine their resume, okay? They put in their resume. I participated of the CFA Institute Research Challenge. I was a local finalist. I was a local winner. I was a sub-regional winner, and I was a regional finalist. Not bad, right? Yeah, that's good. So if you want to participate of the research challenge, please get in touch with us. Enter our website, CFA Society Brazil.org.br, and send me an email, Gustavo, or send an email to Luana, and we can explain you how it works. You can see last year's manual on how it works, and this year we're going to launch the competition in August. So make sure you follow CFA Society Brazil in all social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and many other medias, okay? Because we'll always announce the kickoff on the social medias. Go ahead. And finally, some good stuff for you guys. CFA Institute offers scholarships to students, okay? If your university is part of the university affiliation program, the university can give some scholarships to the students that are enrolled in the university affiliation program. If your university is not part of the affiliation program, send me an email, Gustavo Moreira, and I can tell you how we can make your university affiliated, if possible. If you're a woman, the CFA Institute offers a bunch of scholarships to women, because it's very important to have men and women equally, or at least in equilibrium in financial markets. Especially in Brazil, we have too much men, and women is like 10–20%. So CFA Institute is trying to increase the amount of women. And how is CFA doing this movement? CFA is providing scholarships to girls. Okay, so you can apply for a women's scholarship, and if you win the scholarship, excellent. If you lose the scholarship, it's fine. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to have to pay to apply. Okay, and if you don't receive the scholarship, it's not going to count you against you. You can apply. You don't receive, then you apply to do the exam. Okay, and finally, CFA offers the Access Scholarship, which is designed for students that do not have the, let's put, the necessary amount of money to pay for the exam enrollment, or don't have enough money to pay your bills. I think so. If you have any financial constraint, enter CFA Institute's website to know more about this Access Scholarship, and see if you are entitled to applying the Access Scholarship. And if you're entitled to apply in the Access Scholarship, please do so, because you're not going to spend anything just to apply. If you get the scholarship, excellent. If you don't get the scholarship, at least you tried. Okay. And finally, a program that we ran here in the Brazil Society, which was very successful. We opened 35 vacancies for young women that were university students to participate of a month of finance course. And after this month of finance course, all these 35 women were hired by an investment bank, by an asset manager, to be an intern for a year. And these girls will receive mentoring from CFA charter holders. So it's very good. It's very interesting. As far as I know, all the girls are very happy with this free finance course, the internship with very well-regarded institutions, and the mentoring. And the idea is CFA Institute and CFA Society promoting the increase of women participating of the financial markets. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Gustavo. That was an amazing introduction to your society and all the incredible opportunities that you offer. And I hope students are able to take advantage of some of those programs and opportunities. So thank you for that overview. It was really great. So we'll move on in the agenda. We'll talk about the CFA program. So what is the CFA program exactly? It's a professional credential for investment professionals who are responsible for making investment decisions. The Chartered Financial Analyst, or CFA program, bridges industry practice, investment theory, and ethical and professional standards to provide investment analysis and portfolio management skills. So qualifications or credentials like the CFA Charter indicate that the holder has completed extensive training, passed a third-party administered test, logged experience in the field, and signed onto a code of ethics. So to have such a credential really sets you apart. The CFA program is based on a candidate body of knowledge, or CBOK for short, that is practice-based and global. So the CBOK is the core knowledge, skills, and abilities, the competencies that are generally accepted and applied by investment professionals. So with it being a generalist program, it prepares you for many different job roles. So you really broaden your options by taking the CFA program early on in your career, just as Gustavo mentioned. So I'm going to spend some time on the slide to go over the benefits of the CFA program. First, the CFA Charter is viewed as a mark of distinction. Publications such as the Financial Times recognize the CFA Charter as the gold standard in investment management and finance. It provides a strong ethical foundation, which has been at the core of the program since the first exam was given in 1963. And you can really think about it as a global passport. No matter where you are in the world, where your career takes you, you have a credential that is recognized by finance employers everywhere. To ensure our curriculum is grounded in practice, we engage with practicing CFA charter holders from around the world. So the CFA credential has also been called the industry benchmark because the program is built around a robust curriculum that is practice-driven. It's real world. I also want to highlight the network you gain as one of the most valuable benefits that you receive. As I mentioned, we have more than 150 local societies around the world that represent and support their local network of investment professionals. So as we just heard from Gustavo, the society allows you to connect with like-minded professionals with whom you can network throughout your career and have something in common with, that shared focus on excellence in investment management. The CFA program is one of self-study and consists of 3 levels. So each of the 3 exams covers a full range of topics, but with a different focus. At level 1, the focus is on investment tools. It covers all the different securities, economics, quantitative methods, how to read financial statements, and corporate finance. So the level 1 exam focuses on the candidate's knowledge and comprehension. At level 2, the focus is a deep dive into valuation, taking the securities, the stocks, bonds, derivatives, alternative asset classes such as real estate and commodities, and answering the question, how do people value the price of these individual securities? The level 2 exam requires candidates to apply and analyze. So it's not just about learning about the products and instruments themselves. Level 3 is all about portfolio analysis. How do you put together and manage a portfolio in order to hit the goals of the client within the risk constraints set by the client? And that's really the key at level 3. It's bringing it all together. It's taking your knowledge of the tools and valuation and putting it into an optimized portfolio. The level 3 exam calls on candidates to synthesize and evaluate. At the core of the curriculum and the exams across all 3 levels is ethics and professional standards, symbolized by the green circle. So you will learn best practices for ethical professional behavior, specifically applied to situations that you will encounter in a variety of investment and financial settings. And this helps ensure that charter holders serve as active stewards of the integrity of the investment industry, where reputation is everything and where trust, transparency, and investor protection are critical. So we've talked about the focus of each level, and now we'll look at the format for each level. Level 1 is all multiple choice, and you can see here that candidates can spend an average of 90 seconds on each question. Level 2 consists of item sets, which are case vignettes with a set of related multiple choice questions. Level 3 is half constructed response or essay and half item sets. I've also included the average pass rates here because I think it helps show some of the signaling value of the CFA program. So you can see that less than half the people that sit for level 1 pass it. And I think that's part of the reason why it's such a coveted designation. Because to pass levels 1, 2, and 3, it's really an achievement. You're getting through a really rigorous program, and it really means something when you get that credential. Extensive work through practice analysis and curriculum development has resulted in many changes to the curriculum within the past 3 years. So today I'll briefly focus on a few highlights in the 2020 curriculum. So there's new content on machine learning, a branch of artificial intelligence that's having a profound impact on the investment industry. The reading delves into the mechanics of machine learning and highlights its potential value to investment firms and professionals. The Big Data Projects reading moves the discussion from theory to practice, presenting a real-world study of how unstructured data can train a machine learning model to predict investor sentiment on stocks. We've also seen a trend with more and more practitioners incorporating ESG considerations into their decision-making process. So we introduced a new reading on corporate governance and other ESG considerations in investment analysis. So this addresses the investment analyst's needs to evaluate environmental, social, and governance factors related to potential investments. I think it's important to note that even when you become a charter holder, the learning doesn't stop. Members also benefit from the updates made to the curriculum each year in the form of refresher readings with the new content. So we're always adding to our suite of learning resources. So let's talk about the path to getting the CFA charter. So you need to pass levels 1, 2, and 3 exams sequentially. You also need to meet the work experience requirements, which is acquiring 4,000 hours of qualified professional work experience. So that really means doing work that's related to the investment management process. You need to submit professional references at level 3 and also apply for membership to a society. So ultimately, after you've completed these steps and signed a professional conduct statement, you will have earned the CFA charter and the right to use those 3 letters after your name. So the most common question we get is, how do I pass the exams? Ensuring that you put in enough study time. So typically, successful candidates will spend about 300 hours studying for each level. When you become a candidate, you receive the study materials, and you need these study materials to pass the exam. The CFA program curriculum is the only source material for the exam writers. The average person takes about 4 years to get through the 3 levels. This is a screenshot of our digital learning portal called the Learning Ecosystem, which consolidates the curriculum and study tools into an integrated platform. It houses the entire curriculum and includes practice questions, mock exams, built-in study planners, gamification, and more. It provides a personalized learning experience based on your behavior and preferences. So now we'll move on to what you can do with the charter. In terms of the jobs actually done by charter holders, here's a quick slide that shows you what they do. So on the left, you see we have a very healthy mix of people who do equities, fixed income, private equity, and so on. So the major asset classes are very well represented by our member base. In terms of job roles on the right, the #1 job role of CFA charter holders is portfolio managers. So it's one of the most desirable jobs in the market. The #2 role is research analyst. So you can see the broad range of job roles served because the CFA program covers a breadth of transferable skills. Here you can see a quick snapshot of some of the top global employers of CFA charter holders. So these include nearly all the world's leading financial institutions, including the big investment banks, as well as asset management firms, insurance companies, and accounting firms. But let's drill down even further to where CFA charter holders are working in Brazil. So the countries with the highest concentration of charter holders are shown in the dark blue. So you can see the program is quite popular in Brazil. Here we're able to share some of the senior level job titles held by alumni in Brazil. So impressive representation at the C-suite level. So where are these future charter holders studying? We have a neat piece of data to share here, which shows a sampling of the universities across Brazil. You can see here the number of individuals who are embarking on the CFA program in a year. So this data is from 2019 from these universities. So if you decide to pursue the CFA program, you will not be alone. And you can see why the program is popular. The CFA charter is featured in financial job advertisements such as these, where some of the industry's top employers call for the CFA charter or progress towards it. As these ads attest, employers recognize the CFA charter as a reliable way to differentiate the most skilled and qualified job applicants. So let's move on now to exam administration. You've heard about our modern platform, the Learning Ecosystem, but we've also modernized the delivery of the CFA program, moving completely from paper-based testing to computer-based testing in 2021. So this means we were able to offer more exam offerings throughout the year in more than 400 locations globally. Computer-based testing also allows for operational flexibility, which has allowed us to adjust this changing landscape due to COVID. This flexibility has also allowed us to open additional exam windows and expand existing windows to cover all levels to accommodate those who have been impacted by closed test centers. So the schedule shown on this slide is expected to be in place from 2022 on, and in 2021, we may continue to change as we shift to meet candidates' needs. What may be of particular interest to you today is our changes in our enrollment policy as outlined on this slide. So for graduate level students, there's been no change. You can enter the CFA program with your bachelor's degree. But for undergraduate students, we've made the following changes. Take, for example, our final year student. Our new enrollment requirements state that your selected exam window must be 11 months or fewer before your graduation month for your bachelor's degree or equivalent program. You must complete your degree program prior to the date of sitting for level 2. So this means you can register for the level 1 exam as long as your exam window is within 11 months of your graduation. And after you pass level 1, you can register to sit for level 2 as long as you will have graduated before you actually sit for level 2. So we need to talk about pricing. There's a one-time enrollment fee of $450 when you register for the level 1 exam. And each exam administration has 2 different price points. The early registration fee is $700 and the standard registration fee is $1,000. So it's definitely wise to register early and save $300. Let's talk a little bit more about the registration process. So it's important to note that it's a two-step process. First, you'll register for the exam, and then you'll schedule your exam at your test center. Let's take a look at the next exam offerings for Level 1. November 2021, captured in the green box, is the next available exam, and it's currently open for registration. Levels 2 and Level 3 are also available in November. February 2022 will be the next opportunity for Level 1, and it will open for registration next week. So this slide really shows the growth of our testing footprint with computer-based testing. We've gone from 192 cities to 426. So what does that mean for you? Lots of flexibility throughout the region. So we've really expanded our testing footprint as shown here by the testing centers in the yellow circles there. I'm going to briefly go over the computer-based testing exam day experience. Our exams are being delivered in proctored exam centers with robust security measures in place. Our computer-based test centers have limited capacity to ensure social distancing and safety. So you'll need to show a proper form of identification, which for the CFA program is your valid international travel passport. And then you'll also have a security check done. You'll be provided with writing materials. So most of that time that will be a whiteboard and a marker, but that can also vary by test center. And you are allowed to bring one of the 2 approved calculators as shown here. While the exam appointment is 5.5 hours, actual testing time is 4.5. This is because the time allotted for the candidate pledge and tutorials do not count against your testing time. So we've covered a lot of material in this presentation, so we'll end with a few fun action items. First, you can scan this code to take our 11-question assessment to gauge your readiness for the CFA program. So this webinar is being recorded, so you can always stop the presentation here and take out your phone to take a snapshot of that QR code there. And second, we encourage you to join us for the Alpha Summit. It's an informative meeting of the minds where you will learn how finance professionals are changing the industry. We're offering students a special promo code, AS21Student, for a discounted registration rate. And finally, if you need a break from your studies, we've recently published a link to the top 10 finance films and how the CFA program helps you decipher what's going on in those films by linking to the applicable CFA program reading. So you can learn more about the professor survey behind the listing and access the full research paper by visiting the link shown here. And I think what you're going to find when you're going through the program is that it's very relevant, and you're going to cross through knowledge areas that you've learned from the CFA program in some unexpected places. So now we'll open up for your questions. As I mentioned earlier, my colleague, Wanda McClenahan, will facilitate the Q&A portion for us. So Wanda, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Meredith, and thank you, Gustavo, for the wonderful overviews. Lots of wonderful information, and we have some good questions coming in, so we'll get right to them. I'm going to start with this one for Gustavo. A participant would like to know what you think about passing through the 3 levels of the CFA exams, but not having the professional work experience yet. Is that a good strategy to do the test and wait for the job experience?
Yeah, definitely, because actually it was my case, because when I took the CFA level 1, 2, and 3 exams, instead of having the 4,000-hour experience, we used to have 4 years of experience. And after I passed level 3, I only have 3 years of experience, which is somewhat sad, like, because you've done everything, you're just missing like some calendar to go over. But definitely was positive in my career, because right after I passed CFA level 1, not only I had more knowledge, I had more skills, which helped me a lot at work in the financial markets. I worked as an equity analyst back then, but also my peers and my bosses, they all knew I passed CFA level 1. So they knew that I was committed, they knew that I have the knowledge. After passing level 2 and level 3, the same. The clients, my peers, the bosses, they all knew that I passed CFA level 2 and level 3, and that definitely was very positive for my career. And not only that, let's suppose you're not working in the financial markets. Just by, let's say, passing CFA level 1, it's gonna make you stand out of the crowd, se destacar na multidão in Portuguese, which is very positive, which might open some doors or might facilitate you to enter the financial markets, which I'm supposing that's a dream, that's your goal. So yes, I think it's very positive if you do the exams before you have the work experience.
Excellent advice. The work experience will come, so having the exams under your belt makes good sense. Merridith, there are a lot of questions about scholarships, so I'm going to try to roll them together and get you to talk a bit more, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So some questions about if my university is affiliated, how do I get one of those student scholarships? Do I contact the society, or is it my university? And what does the university require? And also timing. When can I apply for that? If you wouldn't mind kind of giving a quick overview of the student scholarships attached to affiliation, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. No, it's a great question. So it is one of our very valuable benefits that is giving to our university affiliation program participants. So to apply for a scholarship, if you are at an affiliated university, so you're a current student enrolled at an affiliated university, and you can find the list of affiliated universities on our website as well. There's a scholarship application process that's posted on the CFA Institute website. So if you go under our programs page and then apply for a scholarship, there's a section for student scholarships. So you'd go ahead, you'd fill out the application. It's very, very simple information on there. You would select your affiliated university. Now, scholarships the recipients are determined by the university. So whether or not they have different criteria for awarding those scholarships, we do try to post that criteria on our website. So within the application itself, if the university has informed CFA Institute of additional criteria, such as providing a transcript of your courses or an essay, that will be listed under your university on whether or not there are additional requirements. If there's no requirements listed, you can assume apply as is, and then your university will make the scholarship decision. As far as timing, because it is up to the universities, I would check with your university directly on what their scholarship allocation time frame is. Some universities set hard deadlines for awarding their scholarships. Others do it on a rolling basis, so it's really case by case basis depending on which university you're with. So hope that helps clarify.
Very, very much so. And kind of another question or group of questions related to access or scholarships for those who can't afford it. So I'll take that one. Someone is asking about that, and there's some questions on how do I get discounts on the $700 fee. So that's what those scholarships do. The ones through affiliated universities, student scholarships, will discount that $700 down to $350. And it completely waives the $450 registration fee, whereas access is intended for those who can't afford the full cost of the program. So there's a bit more of a discount. So it waives that enrollment fee and it brings the total down to $250 US. The question about when can I apply for access scholarship is if I want to sit in 2022, should I apply in 2021? Absolutely. So if you look on our website right now, you'll see the window is closed for access, but that is going to open up in May because what will happen, a lot of the registration windows for the 2022 exams will open in May. So we open that scholarship application platform to coincide with that so that you can get your application or approved early so you can go on and register. Remember, don't register for the CFA exam until you have your scholarship in hand. And so look back in May for the access scholarships. And so a question about work experience. There's several questions around work experience as well. So I'll start with this one and then get Gustavo to add just from your experience with the local society members that you know. Someone is asking, there are lots of questions about different things that apply. So I'll give a broad overview. Someone's asking, if internships or working with a student club, someone works in investment banking, What exactly does that entail? So for the 4,000 hours over a minimum of 36 months, we're looking for work that has added to the investment decision-making process, right? So that's what's relevant work experience. You don't actually have to be the one making the decision, but you're doing research or producing a product that is used in that investment decision-making process. You are supervising those who are, involved in doing that kind of work, or you are teaching those. And that's how our professors can get relevant work experience as well. Specifically about student clubs. Student clubs would not count unless you're getting paid. So internships and part-time work, which used to not count, can now count if you are getting paid. Working in a student club, serving as an officer, it typically doesn't come with payments, so therefore it wouldn't be. But specifically in the roles of investment banking, do you have any insights on that, Gustavo, that you'd want to add, or other aspects of the work requirements have you seen with your membership?
Sure. Yeah, I think in Brazil, our internship here in Brazil, is a little bit different from internship in the US, and usually internship in Brazil is very hands-on. So I'm very pleased to know and to see that internship will count in the work experience, which in my view is a good decision, the correct decision. And I think working in clubs, which in Brazil is very popular in universities, I think it's very clear that it doesn't count, right? And for investment banking, I believe it counts because investment banks globally, and I think especially in Brazil, they work more than 24 hours a day. So, and they really, you guys have really your hands-on deals, investing. So, in my view, it's something that you can put in the 4,000 hour minimum requirement. Work experience requirement.
Thanks, Gustavo. And I'll close that out with, I agree with what you're saying. You can't dismiss something, accounting or investment banking, because there are elements of it that can count. And on our website, there is it's member resources, because again, the work experience comes into play when you have passed the levels of the exam and you're ready to now get the charter and have the letters after your name. That's when you have to apply. So if you look on our website, there is a professional work experience assessment tool. And there's a lot of questions where you can self-assess, and you'll see the breadth of and the variety of different things that we're looking for that could count towards that. So I'd advise you all to look on that website just to get an idea. And again, internships, as long as they're paid, part-time work as long as they're paid, but a lot of these other things, maybe not 100% of the things that you're doing on your job will count, but some of them likely will, because there's a lot of crossover there with the products that you're using or producing in supporting the investment decision-making process. So let's see, quick one. Merridith, do I have to have a passport even on computer-based exams, or is it only necessary to have my national ID?
Yeah, so our standard ID is a valid travel international passport. Make sure that it's not expired and that all the data, matches what's in your CFA program account.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The next question is about the challenge, the CFA Research Challenge. So I'll send this one to you, Gustavo. Do you have a tool to connect students interested in undertaking the challenge? So just how would they express their interest to you? What would that tool look like?
Yeah, my recommendation, guys, is first enter our society webpage, CFA Society Brazil .org.br, and in the area which is called Eventos or Events, you click on Eventos, and there is a section called Research Challenge, and at the CFA Society, our website. And there, in this area, you have the regulamento and the participant kit from last year. So you have an idea of the chronogram, the rules, what you can do, what you cannot do, okay? Also, you can also enter our YouTube channel, CFA Society Brazil YouTube channel. We have previous rounds of this the research challenge, you can watch the presentation from students. You can watch the kickoff event, in which I go through the rules, what you can do, what you cannot do, so you get a sense of how the research challenge is going to work. And finally, apart from our website, apart from the YouTube, you can always send a message to Luana and myself, and we can help you with that. Not only helping you organizing the team, but also helping you finding a faculty advisor, which is the professor that's going to be your orientador, okay? And yeah, we can always discuss that by email or do a video conference.
Excellent, thank you. There's a question about exam application fees and getting discounts if you attend a partner university. So how do you get that? So just to maybe this question's been answered, but just to make sure, there's not a separate discount for attending an affiliated university. There is the student scholarship and again, those are only awarded to students at those affiliated universities, and how you get them again is going through the university, and because they determine how to award them, they can set their own criteria. So there's a question about the study material. So I'll start with this one just from a high level and then pass it to you, Gustavo. Someone is asking, well, first for clarity, and I'll clarify, they say, do we get like levels, all levels, 1, 2, and 3, you know, and then choose what to study for. So I'll just clarify, when you enroll for a certain level exam, you get the materials through our learning ecosystem specific to that exam. So your curriculum, if you're a level 1 candidate, you will only get level 1 candidate curriculum. You'll only get level 1 practice test, etc. If you're level 2, you'll see that. So you will not see all 3 levels. It will be specific to you and what level you're enrolled at. And so they're asking, what else do I need to study? So this is the part where I'll tag team with you, Gustavo. What we say at CFA Institute is the curriculum that's housed in that learning ecosystem is all that you need to study. That said, there are some other offerings through prep providers, and that's really a personal choice if you want to use a prep provider. So I'd like to hear from you, Gustavo, on what you think about prep providers and what you offer through the society, and just your general thoughts on prep.
Sure. Our society, we offer a prep course, which we used to run in person until 2019. Last year, we switched to an online, which is good if you don't live in São Paulo, because the in-person was in São Paulo. Now online, you can be anywhere. From my point of view, I believe some candidates, some students, they have the discipline to study by themselves. So they are better off just reading the books, doing all the questions that CFA provides. And some students prefer to have a lecture, to have a professor telling the content. They prefer this kind of, they have this studying style. So from my point of view, it's a matter of, there's no best or worst. It's which one is best for you, and which model works for you, and which model doesn't work for you. Okay. And I think more important than that is if you choose to go with a prep provider, which you're gonna have either in-person classes or online classes, that's not gonna be enough. Okay, you're gonna have to learn from those classes. Then you're gonna have to study by yourself. You're gonna have to practice by yourself, doing literally thousands of questions. That's how you pass. You study hard. You do more than 1,000 questions. Then you learn from your mistakes. You improve your grade, and you become a CFA charter holder. And then we can celebrate.
Excellent. So we want to allow enough time for Gustavo to announce the winners of the giveaways, or who's been chosen to receive those. So I'm going to answer 3 questions really quickly. And can you apply for more than one scholarship at the same time? You can apply for more than one. You will only be awarded one time. Are we going to get the slides after the presentation? Yes, I'm happy to flatten them down because it's a big file into a PDF file and send them out to you. And how many times can I take the CFA exam? So you can take each level. There's a limit of 6 times. So that is the max you can take, level 1, before you could move on. And you can, max times you can take an exam in a year would be twice because of the 6 months rule. So with that, I really appreciate all the fantastic questions coming in, and I'll direct you to our website for lots of these questions are there, but I want to turn it over to Gustavo to make sure he has time to announce who's going to get the giveaways.
All right, just before I announce the boys and girls that are gonna receive the giveaways, talking about the research challenge.
Yeah.
Follow us in our social medias, because we always announce when the kickoff, when is the day that we're gonna announce that we're gonna commence, that we're gonna begin the research challenge, and in the kickoff we announce which company all teams are gonna be analyzing. Okay, so make sure we follow us. Make sure you send me an email so you can arrange a team before the kickoff, and you can arrange also a professor to help you. Each university can have a maximum of 2 teams. So you can have a team of only economics students, and another team with 1 person from economics, another from engineering, a 3rd person from business administration. So it's very flexible to that extent. You can have 1 professor, 1 faculty advisor, which is 1 professor helping 2 teams, but ideally you'd have 1 professor for each team. Okay, so make sure you follow us, make sure you send an email to us so we can send you messages of the kickoff event that's going to take place this coming August. Okay, so let me announce the winners of the giveaways. The first one is Matheus Mendes de Medeiros. Congratulations. You are the first one that got. Luana is going to get in touch with all of you to get your postal addresses to have the item shipped to you. The second one is Gabriel Locci, Locci. Third one is Luca Cabrera. Congratulations, Luca. Then you have Gabriel Andrade, Milena Rodrigues. So until now we have 5 winners. Right. We have Lucas Célio Soares is the 6th one. Maria Irene Jordão is the 7th. Daniel Gonçalves Oliveira is the 8th. Rafael Aguiar. And finally, the last winner is Gabriel Góes. Guys, congratulations. Thank you for being here. The questions were very interesting, very positive. I do appreciate that. And hopefully we can meet in person shortly and in the research challenge as well, guys.
Yes, thank you so much for joining, everyone. We really appreciate your interest and encourage you to connect with the local societies. You've heard there are so many offerings, and it's just a good, rich network to be with. So be very advantageous to you in your CFA program journey if you decide to embark on that. And we wish you the best with that, as well as with your academic studies. And with that, we want to thank you so much and wish you a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye. Tchau. Obrigado, pessoal. Até mais.